Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM22 Dragons. This is episode 47. We're going to see how far through the rest of the season we can get as we're into August and the signing period's done, so now it's just a matter of wrapping things up. First off, though, the Tour of Portugal, the Volta in Portugal. We're on stage 10 of 11 already with this one. Lieberman came into this not yet on a fitness peak, but since hitting that fitness peak, he went from being very competitive with a few top fives over the first maybe four stages, and then he hit that fitness peak, and now he's won three stages out of the last five and has been very, very strong. He's over a minute and a half ahead with two stages to go, but this is one of the biggest stages of this race so far. We'll just see what happens. I'm not going to play these ones out. Another stage victory for Lieberman. Like I said, that's his fourth now over the last about six stages in this one. Always just a handful of seconds ahead, but he's now a minute and a half clear, 2.5 minutes clear of non-podium. Between an 80 mountain and a time trial of 76 and a prologue of 78, bringing the average between the two to a 77, I do think that we should be okay on this 15.7 kilometer final stage of the Volta in Portugal. We're better than okay. It's another stage win for Lieberman, and that obviously confirms what's the obvious thing already. Pot and Pimentel, same time for that second spot on the podium, but with a more than minute and a half victory. That is Yuval Lieberman picking up some really solid points. A lot of stage wins, an overall win. That's a very good points haul for him, and could be a big boost for Israel to maybe get another training point for the year. 2 years in a row. It's only the middle of August, and we've already fallen to 10th in the rankings, but actually, it's kind of a good thing, because if we are going to be making World Tour, it's going to come down to what's left signing-wise. And this is it. I mean, please tell me, do I have any filters? Okay, no. Oh, there are still some out there. So there's a good handful of riders that are in that 5.5 star category yet. But no 6 stars left. So no massive boost. But, you would imagine that Leknesund, Lopez, and Hagens, Callis are going to be big-time signings that will boost some teams. But I'd say maybe from Johannesson and below, maybe at that point you're in the lower end of the 5.5 stars that would not boost them above us. It's not one of ours, but Egypt has just seen their popularity increase from a 2 to a 3. Abdelrahman has won Post Nord Denmark, and that has given them one more point. I believe that is the first point for all of Africa in this playthrough. So had we picked that option, which I know a lot of you have done an Africa option yourself, that would be the first point that they've obtained. We're at 10 right now. Wang Huai Dai has won the Bemar Cyclo Classics, so there's another good result for us. That is a World Tour race. I don't think it's going to boost popularity for the nation, but it could. No, looks like it hasn't. Following another 10 days, we've slipped to 13th, which does put us in jeopardy, but the list of quality riders is getting much shorter. The 5.5 star guys is now less than a complete page, but there's still enough there certainly to make a difference. And I do remember seeing Mohoric was right at that edge of that list of guys that you looked at and going, those are clearly the better 5.5 star, and then you have the weaker 5.5 star. So most of the better 5.5 stars are gone now. That's going to give us a step in the right direction, and might just about do it. I mean, there's still 4,000 riders available right now. It's a huge pool, but the better riders pool is getting quite limited, and we're holding on in 13th. Oscar will remain in the peloton next year. He has signed with Orbia. Meanwhile, Alpasov is heading to Bank, so he'll be on a bigger team, and that's good for him. And we have slipped a couple spots to 15th, but we're a week into September. I would imagine by now most of those 5.5 stars are dealt with, taken care of, signed. Let's see if that's the case. it is the case. There is not a single 5.5-star rider left. The potential of a 5-star rider being enough when we have 3 5.5-star guys is highly unlikely. Not that it's impossible if they have a couple 6-star guys and then it falls off to 4 stars for your third man and it's the average of 3. Signing a 5-star would boost you up quite a bit. But the likelihood of substantial changes coming out of this is incredibly low, meaning I'm feeling pretty confident that we are about 3 spots above safety and could very well be headed for World Tour next season. The latest nation to see a boost is Albania after Berisha has won a stage at La Volta. Another victory for us, and actually a big one considering who it is, what nation they're from, and where their nation is standing. It's the Tour of Quebec, but it's a World Tour race. And Gunay picking up the victory. Actually, Tereskin was third on this one, by the way, and Bernal sandwiched in between them. But being that he's from Turkey, that could be a popularity boost. Let's see if it is. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. There's our 11th point. Turkey gets a +1. It's up to from a 4 to a 5 in Turkey now in popularity. Shia have picked up Fayez Hamad. He was one that we tried to re-sign, but he ended up asking, a good 8,000 more than I expected him to be asking for, so we let him go. But something big has happened. We've moved back into the top 10 in the rankings and are now guaranteed World Tour. Yes, we are headed to the World Tour, and here is why. Kasim Reddy, one of our top 3 guys already, has leveled up. He is now 6 stars. Our first ever 6-star rider with a 6-star stage racing rating. He's got an 81 mountains, 79 hills, 76 time trial, 79 stamina, 81 recovery, 81 downhill, fairly good acceleration, can handle the prologue. This is somebody who's gonna be pretty good. Pretty good. His contract of 31,000 is now looking like a real bargain because a lot of 5.5-star guys go for 70, 80,000. And we've got a now 6-star guy entering a new contract, 3 more years locked down for 31,000. This is a big time leader who's going to do a lot of good things. And he's from Kuwait, which is one of the smaller ranked countries. Guaranteed, Reddy is going to do some things over the next couple of seasons that is going to see Kuwait get stronger and see more riders out of Kuwait entering the database that are going to be strong like him in the future. This is fantastic. Possibly the last race that I'm going to go ahead and cover for the year. It's Illumbardia, and so far so good. Race day conditions aren't great, but considering that the majority of the team is at very low motivation at this point in the season, it's not a bad thing that we came out relatively neutral here. Lieberman, Reddy with their -1s are 2 of our leaders, so that part's unfortunate, but overall a relatively neutral race day condition across the team is a decent trade-off. +3 overall, not bad. 89 kilometers to go. 2 big climbs remain, and then a little bit of additional. We've started to up our effort over the last 2 climbs. It looks like we're starting to struggle with that 79 pace here, but only just. This is just off the pace of those. The 6 riders in the break had a near 7-minute advantage. It's down to a minute now. There's a lot of climbing still to do here on the Descena 11.7K. Let's go ahead and start pushing that to an 80 so we don't drift back too fast here. And keep an eye, Locke is currently the furthest back and definitely not far back, and there's still 159 in the peloton. So we're doing okay for now. Let's speed things up for a bit. Okay, now Locke is starting to go back a little bit further. How are we doing on the climb, though? Okay, he's going to have to put in a little bit more. We're getting close to the top. I don't like how far back he is dropped. Yeah, he's still the furthest back. And Reddy starts to fade. He's okay. We're good. We're good. We made it through that. Didn't lose any riders, but how much recovery do we get over the next little bit? Because we're not quite done on this mountain. Oh, nice. We got a little more recovery in there. That's good. 131 chasing just a single rider and just a minute ahead, so they are not a threat. One more big climb to navigate, but let's get through this real quick. See the recovery. Somebody attacked. Pfeiffer. Plus one guy, give or take. And 60k to go. This is the time for Sitankaya. If I can get water. I needed to do that a few hundred meters ago so he could drop back a little bit faster, but that's okay. Oh, come on, put your hand up. Get that water. There we go. He's got the water. Progress. At least make a few bike links here. He's not recovering now. In fact, he's struggling to... He's not even making progress. And there's a gap opening in front of him. He's got a 74 downhill. He's got water. And he's chasing. And yet, he's the one to open the gap. And now he's not even trying to get the water anymore. Oh man, this game sometimes. Now he's dropping much further back. All the way to the back of the peloton this time. He is making some rapid progress, but here we go, about to climb, and he's gonna fail. He's gonna fail in his task. Ay, ay, ay. Sometimes this game can be absurd. Goodbye, Sitankaya. The gap actually is opening just right here. Pare Pentier. Kamna getting dropped. Skiomos. These are good riders going back fast. And we've got some, not just thirsty riders, but we've got some riders that you don't want dropping back this quick. Kang protecting Reddy for now. Is he though? Where is Reddy? Right there. Block, we had to push a little bit harder because he was already so far behind. 4 riders, the front 4 apparently, have escaped by 30 seconds. There's plenty of time to bring that together. I thought I saw somebody going back real fast, but he's neutralized. We're about to see somebody go back real fast. There's Islamov near the top here. Lock. Nope. Lock's not going to make it through here. He's going to get dropped. Okay, let's take a second, put these guys all on auto, make sure they're all, like 2 of them already were. Alright, we got 3 riders left, 3 thirsty riders, group of 35, and there's a little more uphill section. We've got that little bit to get through, so there's some punchy involved. Alpasov is the least punchy, so we'll send him to get the water, because that's going to be a fast final climb. Alpasov, there you go. And bring it forward. Come on. Why are they so incapable of making that last one bike length that they need? Still haven't gotten water to Lieberman. He's right there. He's been with him, riding with him for 6K. Hasn't taken a single pedal. There he goes. Still hasn't given water to Lieberman. Wow, there you go. Alright. Let's take a second. Get organized. There's 14K to go. These guys are pushing hard, flat rating wise. Alpsov, who do we want to protect? Reddy is the punchiest, best acceleration, so Alpsov's going to protect Reddy. But let's check in. What is this situation? Because it's not what it was. It's Pogacar, Champeson, Stannard, Pavlik, Johannesson, Pfeiffer, and Reutz. What is it? Reutz? Reutz? No, Reutz. Oh gosh. It's been a week and a half since somebody told me how to say that properly, and my brain has not properly retained that information. If I had recalled it within a couple of days, I would have had it. Alright, we catch one group, and we catch the other group. One more rider attacks. 8k to go. Alpasov is going to jail right now. Pfeiffer, that's Vlasov chasing, and are these guys gonna... You know what? We're not gonna wait. We're not gonna wait around to find out. They might escape. These guys might pull back. This might be a gap right here. Hershey, that's a couple bike lengths. So, Alpasov, Lieberman, ready. Get that little acceleration for me. Okay, they didn't go anywhere, but gel for Lieberman now, 6k. Arnsman, 36 riders left in contention. Alpasov to lead this out. Not a lot of red bar left, as we're awfully tired here before we begin this final climb. 5k. 3 stars. Frulworth is kind of blocking us off here, making it really hard for Alpasov to go forward. Lieberman to take over. Gel, we are just not punchy. We are not good on cobbles. Group is down to 24 chasing 1, and now there's 3k to go. So Lieberman is going to full sprint. 2k to go. I don't like our position trying to come into this. So ready, start his sprint. We're at the very back end of this, heading for the finish line, and Lieberman's out sprinting ready. Neither one's good at that. It was the punchiness that was Reddy's strength. So that little cobbled sector just took us out of this thing, as we were just not good enough. But we 17th, 19th, and 24th, which is essentially worthless here. Arnsman, Shampison, Pfeiffer. That little cobbled sector, just, that was it. We just could not get through that with any quality speed. We were going flat out and going backwards. First things first, there's a dominant top 7 in the World Tour for next year with Ineos, AG2R, Lotto Soudal, Jumbo-Visma, KBC, and UAE, along with Bora Hansgrohe. Then we come in as the next best team in the peloton next year, 8th best. Losing their positions in the World Tour are EF Education, Easy Post, Bike Exchange, Israel Premier Tech will remain out of World Tour for a second year running. Intermarché will also be dropped, and Trek. That's a pretty big blow, especially to American cycling, as all American teams are out of World Tour this year. In the individual rankings, Ayuso was the champion of the World Tour this year. Dai is a top 20. Lieberman 21st. Gunai and Chu are both in the top 50 of the rankings individual, but that's World Tour. In the Continental, we did not put our time and effort into there, so we have no individuals that are ranked terribly high. But in the Super Prestige, Lieberman has a top 10. That has to boost the training structure for Israel. I don't see having a top 10, a top 8 rider, just a few points shy of a top 7 rider in the World Tour rankings. I don't see that not boosting the training structure for a small nation like Israel. Yes, it boosted last year, but it still sits at just a 3. I think 7 plus is the only one who wouldn't be seeing a boost from a finish this high. Schechter, meanwhile, is 17th as well, so he is ranked quite highly. Between the two of them, it feels like it would be impossible. Here's the more questionable one, Dai of Taiwan. They have a 2 for their training structure, and he's 39th in the rankings. Is that enough to bring Taiwan up to a 3? It might be. Now, Kazakhstan with a 5, I don't think it's going to see any sort of boost from a barely top 50 of Taraskin. I think they're going to be sitting put on 5 for their training structure. Find it unlikely, but you never know. Turkey is a 3 for training structure, just inside the top 100 at 87th. Feels unlikely to budge the training structure of his home nation, but at least the boost he got for popularity has kicked in. Lieberman managed 8 victories this year, Schechter 9. Nice job for the two of them. And here we go, team rankings. We finished 7th in the World Tour rankings, despite being a Continental Pro team and barely having, what, 3 stage races in World Tour competition, and then competing in pretty much all the classics. But that's still, that's less than half a schedule. Bahrain Victorious, the only other Continental Pro team to even crack the top 18. Continental rankings themselves, though, we were all the way down in 13th, but again, I didn't control any of that. And Super Prestige, overall, 7th best. Really good spot to be. Really good grand total, 4,759 points for the year. And we're headed to the World Tour for next year, which is just crazy. Just crazy. We've done it, and we've done it comfortably in the end after Kasim Reddy's level up. It was close, and I think we would have made it. Without that level up, I think we stayed 15th. There just didn't seem to be anything left talent-wise. There didn't seem to be any internal changes. We were still 15th up until the point that Reddy leveled up. And then, of course, that gave us a big boost. Well, what happens regarding the training structures, we'll have to wait till find out till next time, because that's going to do it for this episode and this season. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one, be safe out there, and bye for now.